Okay, so, hi, hello, welcome back to another Reading Scary Bad Two-Sentence Horror Stories. Reading Bad Two-Sentence Horror Stories. There we go. I messed up the title, because you wanna know why? This is a one take, by the way. I'm streaming this live on twitch.tv/jankyjohnny. I'm not here for a selfish plug, but just letting you guys all know that this is a one take, by the way. Here, stumble, mumble, fumble, and mess up my words. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's been a while that I have done a Reading Bad Two-Sentence Horror Stories, and this is actually going up on a Friday. Which is tomorrow, because I'm recording this on a Thursday. So, because I don't have a three scary fake YouTuber horror stories, so we're doing something kind of different. Next week I should have one, but I thought, hey, it would be kind of cool to just do another Bad Two-Sentence Horror Stories. I have one more thing, because this actually, a little intro has been going on for 1 minute. Please consider using code GOONS at gamersubs.gg. It is code GOONS. You get 10% off at discount. That goes for tubs, shake cups, merchandise, and all of that lovely stuff. So, outside of that, let's get into it. So, how I usually do my Bad Two-Sentence Horror Stories is that I just start and I go down to either I hit where I left off at in the last video, which I don't remember, or I just stop because they get really horrible. And if you guys know, or you guys have seen my recent Bad Two-Sentence Horror Stories, it gets pretty bad. So, outside of that, let's get into it. Oh, also, I messed up. Here we go. Alright, let's go. The first Bad Two-Sentence Horror Story. Oh my god. Daddy, it has hair and teeth, and this one's golden. The camp commandant's daughter stroked her doll as outside the windows were dusted in a light ash. So, that was the first one. It's only gonna get either worse. So, let's move on. I just discovered that my husband is cheating on me, so I cut his brake line last night. He left for work early this morning, telling me in a text that he decided to take our baby boy to daycare and save me the trouble. Okay, that one was kind of a layered two-sentence horror story, but let's move on. I was horrified when I recognized my daughter on the other end of the suicide hotline. I rolled my eyes as she ranted, lying about my parenting style, deciding to punish her later for everything she said about me. Okay, that one is eerily topical. If you guys are in my stream on Thursday the 28th, you will understand. But not moving on, we're going to move on though. It will work as long as our daughter believes in it. And we'll save a lot of money, I said to my wife. Trust me, I read a blog about the placebo effect on the internet. I added while giving my wife the fake epinephrine injector. Okay, hopefully I said that chemical right, or that medicine right, or whatever it's called. Moving on. Choking up on the phone, I told my husband that I just found my sister dead from suicide. He gasped and said, "Why on earth would Pamela hang herself?" Okay, another eerily topical one too. Okay, we're moving on. Her legs spread, the stallion snorted in anticipation. The onlookers murmured with excitement. The gun fired. The horses fled in opposite directions. Her screams didn't quite drown out the sickening sound of her femurs being torn from her hips. Okay, I thought that last two-sentence horror story was gonna go in a different route. Thank God it didn't. We're moving on. By the time the search party got close to the missing kid, he had already fallen asleep due to exhaustion. Everyone kept calling the kid's name, but with no battery left in his hearing aids, the kid just kept sleeping. Okay, that one... Alright, that one was kinda... I mean, honestly, that one was kinda good, but also kinda sad, but moving on. Are we going to dig coal or something? Asked one of the teens after they were told to prepare for mine work. No. All of you will walk through the minefields to make a safe passage for the rest of us, replied the village elder. Okay. That one was, I mean, kind of topical too. I made a joke earlier this stream, so moving on. My fingers were raw and bloody, but I kept typing and typing, working endlessly on my sixth novel. The woman behind me kept whispering to me what to write and not letting me stop until her story has been shared with the world. Okay, for this two-sentence horror story, I do believe that it would be a good, like, horror movie, in my honest opinion. But we're moving on. I was shocked when my online girlfriend showed up at my door. I never gave her my address. I see that as a win-win. Moving on. Before my little girl came back from school, I tied a rope around my neck and hung myself. After a few hours, I jolted back to life and heard my little girl ask, "Why did you think hanging yourself would work, if poison didn't?" Okay, another topical one. What the heck? Moving on. I'm not gonna read that one. Yeah, I'm not gonna read that one. Alright, moving on. Vampires always accumulate such vast wealth for one good reason. They don't need permission to enter a property when they own the land upon which it sits. I never thought about that. Damn, that also makes sense. What the hell? Okay, moving on. Okay, what are up with the topical ones today? I committed suicide once. It's not as bad as people think. Everyone I meet freaks out though when they realize that they're already dead. Why is everything so topical? What the fuck? Moving on. My teacher laughed when we all yelled the same number after asking us to say a random number. But she was in tears for some reason after we did it 9 more times in a row. Okay, honestly, I don't think that's bad. I mean, honestly, children in any horror aspect is really scary. So, moving on. I drove all day through the scorching desert, racing towards the spot where the kidnapper promised I will find my baby daughter. When I opened the box, I found it. It only contained a note that read, "She was alive when I put her in your trunk this morning." Damn. I don't even think that's even a bad one. That one's actually kind of good. What the hell? It's sad, but it's kind of good. Alright, we're moving on. I could never forget the day when I told my first boyfriend about my pregnancy, and he ghosted me on the same day. So years later, when I got my hands on a time machine, I went back in time and killed him on the exact same day. Okay, moving on. When my nephew showed up at my door unannounced and covered in blood, I asked him what had happened. With unrestrained excitement, he replied, Remember when you said I could live with you if my parents died?" Okay, I'm getting some like Lucius vibe from that one. I think that's the name, Lucius. It's that video game where you play as like Satan and he's a kid and you kill the parents. It's like it's like a really niche game, but you know, moving on. I told my ex's mother that I wanted to reconcile and tricked her into revealing my ex's new address. When I entered the house through the back door, I didn't find my ex, but her mother was there with a shotgun. Yo, W mom. W mom. Moving on. I called my ex and told her that I was still in love with her and pulled the trigger. As I woke up blind and in agony, I begged the nurses to finish the job. Okay, another topical one. Another topical one right here. Okay, we're moving on. I was worried when my daughter showed me several love poems that were sent to her anonymously. My worry turned to anger when I realized many of them were the same love poems that my husband had written for me while he was courting me. Okay, I don't know I don't know how to feel about this one because I just don't know. I'm moving on. The circus doesn't need freaks like you, snarled the human cannonball to the wolf girl before strutting off to do his act. As he bowed to the cheering crowd, her lycanthropic strength was more than enough to stealthily shift his cannon's trajectory a few degrees. Okay, no offense, that one kind of sucked. Moving on. Death handed me 3 dice, explaining that my roll would determine where I deserved to go. I didn't understand what the results of the first 2 dice meant, but the answer became clearer when the final die refused to stop rolling. Oh! Oh, okay. Honestly, I don't think that's bad. Yeah, the guy got sent to purgatory. Damn, rip. Moving on. I told the genie I wished for a girlfriend just like those anime waifus. He gave me a monstrosity with gigantic bug eyes, a microscopic nose, and a slit for a mouth. Okay, he should have been more specific on what type of anime waifu he wanted. He should have said, like, Marin Kitagawa, Mai Sakurajima, Reese from Black Lagoon. I think, or Rez from Black Lagoon. Sorry if I said the name wrong. Like, it should have been more specific, bud. Moving on. My little brother just came home from daycare. His internal organs did not come home with him. Banger. Moving on. In my personal experience, puppies produce more meat than kittens. I successfully lured more people with puppies than with kittens. Okay, that one was kind of a trick. Like a trick. Twig. I can't speak today. Moving on. My husband is a massive debt, which is why I was confused as to how he paid for our vacation. When 4 men with cameras came into the hotel room, and my husband was nowhere to be seen, I realized what he did. that is so messed up. That is really messed up. Holy shit, moving on. The Bible said humans aren't meant to live past 120 years. But I'm about to turn 122 tomorrow. I wonder if God has forgotten me. Okay, I'm not religious or anything, so I don't know if that's cap or fact. But damn, I didn't know they put a time limit or like a cap on how long humans can live for. I mean, hopefully God didn't forget about you. I don't know. Moving on. I hate you, my little sister screamed at me as she slammed my door. I know, I thought as I looked down on the bottles of pills that would soon make my family happy, no longer having to deal with me as a disappointment. Yet again, topical. I don't know what's up today, but topical. Moving on. She held her daughter's charming little drawing and asked, "So you think our new baby is going to be a boy?" "No, Mummy. The baby is blue because she's dead," she replied with a smile. Damn. Okay, moving on. The only time I was told that I was pretty was after the accident. I overheard the doctor say, "What a shame. She was so pretty." Okay, that's actually really sad. Okay, moving on. I installed a nanny cam in my daughter's teddy bear. She may be 35, but that doesn't mean she doesn't need mommy's watchful eye at all times. The helicopter parroting is real. Moving on. I was shocked to see how clear the lake. I'm sorry. I was shocked to see how clear the lake I was swimming in was. I don't know why all those do not swim signs were around when the water is this clear. Okay, well, just the way that was phrased and everything was honestly kind of hard to read. Isn't clear water good to swim in? I'm not too sure. I mean, I don't know. Moving on. I recited the ancient words that would curse my ex-best friend's entire family and lineage. The doctor told my wife that our son had passed away due to sudden infant death syndrome, and I'm determined to take the truth to the grave with me. Oh, damn. Yeah. Hopefully I said that correctly. SIDS. I think it's sudden infant death syndrome. Hopefully I didn't get it wrong. But yeah, that is messed up, and your wife got some questions for you, homie. Moving on. The headmistress tearfully approached the student, explaining that there had been a bomb on the plane, and his family did not survive. The boy grinned. The best money that I have ever spent. Moving on. After a lot of assurance, the timid kid in my class finally told me all about the abuse he was experiencing at home. You were right about your son being a blabbermouth, I said to the kid's mother later that evening, while picking her up for our date. What the f... What? Huh? So the guy's... the guy's banking his mom? Oh, no, he's a teacher. Okay. Damn, that's kind of messed up. Alright, moving on. I dreamt my wife killed my childhood abuser, and my only concern was how do we get rid of the evidence? When I woke up to 6 new heavy suitcases by the front door, I realized that it wasn't a dream. I mean, W wife, I guess. Moving on. I thought my husband was a jerk, leaving me and the kids on Christmas Eve without so much as a note. I was horrified when the handyman I hired to find the source of the foul smell pulled a Santa hat out of the chimney 6 months later. Damn. So, damn, that's actually kind of messed up. He was trying to do something nice for Christmas, and he ended up dying in the chimney. Honestly, there has to be at least one case out there that actually happened like this, or happened like that. Well, R.I.P. to him. Moving on. I was absolutely beyond consolable when I found my wife in our bed with another man that I didn't know. After her death 9 years ago, my biggest wish was to see her again, but not like this. Okay. So this is what I mentioned with the 2-sentence horror stories being horrible. You get those like this. You get some like these, so... Moving on. Riddled with cancer, I begged the genie, please, I wish to be in perfect health. Days later, the withering doctor coughs and mutters, I don't know why you're even here. You're in perfect health. Okay, I may be stupid, but I don't... Unless he gave the cancer to the doctor, then that's kind of messed up. Moving on. While my father was taking a bath, I stood near his table and began messaging my boyfriend. Just as I suspected, a copy of every message I sent to my boyfriend popped up on my father's phone. Moving on. My daughter sent me a message. If you don't cut short your business trip and come back home ASAP, I'm going to kill myself. My wife texted me. I read her diary, so I know that she wants to see you in person one last time before committing suicide. Please, don't come home. Okay, why? Topical again. I don't understand the amount of like 2-sentence horror stories revolving around this though, but that one is honestly really sad. I apologize for those who are tuning into the video or who are watching this video right now. I did not expect to have so many of these, so my bad. Moving on. After we returned home with our newborn, my husband told me that our next sex session would be awesome. I asked him why, and that was the first time I heard the term husband stitch. I feel so bad for the wife. I'm sorry for the wife and those who have gotten that. That was fucked up. I'm sorry. Moving on. As I mourned the death of my teammates during the pole mission, the captain gave me penguin stew. Thanks, I said, eating it under the Big Dipper. Okay, that one. How's that even a two-sentence horror story? I don't understand. Moving on. If you press the button, you will instantly receive 50k, but a random side effect will activate throughout the entire universe. 50k has been paid into your account, and now water has a expedition. Water can go bad. There we go. Expiration date. There we go. I couldn't say that. Doesn't water already have expiration dates? That sounds dumb, but maybe. I don't know. Moving on. Localized time dilation is the most important breakthrough humanity has ever had. Now, employees can produce decades of work in a single week. I think that it's a two-sentence horror stories for the employees, because now they had to do a whole decade of work in a single week. Yeah, I don't know. Moving on. My teenage boys My teenage boys helped me come back to life after I drowned in a public pool. It's now been 2 years since I left the underworld, and I don't want my poor darlings to find out that their mom is really dead, and I'm just occupying her body. I couldn't say that word, resuscitate, or resuscitated me. I can say it any other day, but not now. Moving on. My mom told me she might be allergic to the cookies she just ate, and her face had just gone numb. I can't see and I can't hear anything, she cried, as she began to drool and lose consciousness. Okay, that's honestly really scary though, that you can just be allergic to something and you don't know, and then just shit like that happens. That is a horror story. Moving on. Gun in hand, the hunter was able to walk right up to the bear cubs without startling them. They probably knew he was the dad of one of the younger scouts, but not that he knew how bad that bullying had gotten. Wait, what? Oh, okay, so the children in the scouts are called bear cubs. Okay, moving on. Okay, there is a bad two-sentence horror story that is not safe for work, but this one isn't as bad. So, I mean, this one seems more like funny. So, I'm actually going to read this one. I skipped the last one that was also not safe for work because it was kind of fucked up. So, I finally talked my partner into giving me oral sex, even though that they were reluctant because of their braces. Fortunately, the doctor says that the reconstructive surgery should get everything working the way it was supposed to do, and the scarring will be minimal. That one wasn't as bad as the other one that I skipped. So yeah, moving on. We'll do like 4 or 5 more. Alright, so we can save your baby or your wife, but not both, and you have to choose. I chose the baby, knowing the sale of my wife's organs will pay for the baby's care. A lot of organs. Moving on. Baby, please, it was just a one time. I pled to him in tears. We can always make more, right? I said as he crumpled in front of the small, wet bundle. Okay, that was just depressing. Moving on. I hacked the dresser into pieces in anger when I found my little daughter crying in the pain pinned under it. 2 decades later, I did the same thing when I found my daughter crying in pain pinned under her husband. Okay, moving on. My daughter loves her kindergarten friend, Mike, so much she talks about things that they did every day. I went to her teacher to pass the invite for Mike to come to her birthday party, but the teacher said that even though Mike is enrolled, he never showed up to class. Okay. We have two more. The old gypsy woman told me that I die by drowning, so I spent my life avoiding water. As the doctor struggles to drain the fluid building in my lungs, and the sensation of slow drowning overwhelms me, I suddenly wish I had just enjoyed the beach before suffering the inevitable. Yeah, dry drowning is scary. And now this is the last 2-sentence horror story of the video. Dare you to touch the electric fence, I giggled, not understanding his fear. That night, Mom and Dad explained with tears that his battery heart wasn't like ours, and he couldn't play with us anymore. Okay, so that poor kid got electrocuted, and he has a pacemaker. So, fly high, bud. But yeah, that's it for reading bad 2-sentence horror stories. Yet again, sorry for the stories being topical. Well, to the stream, of course, but that's how it goes for 2-sentence horror stories. Because those topics are horror stories, and whoever is thinking about doing that stuff, hopefully you can get some help, and hopefully you can get it all sorted out. But yeah, I'm gonna end the video here. I do want to say thank you guys so much for watching. I do have a playlist of all my reading bad 2-sentence horror stories, and I also have a playlist of my actual creepypastas and other content that I do. So my links are down below. Please remember to use code GOONS, and I'll see you guys later. Bye everyone.